That's a fair old scar you got there, by the way. How'd you get it?
Greetings, friend. We are travelers.
I know that. What do you want?
We couldn't help noticing those Imperial soldiers.
Don't you go telling these... I speak for the people of this village. You are to leave Amber and never...
May I at least ask?
I don't know who you are or what brings you here, but your presence puts us on. The Empire is a harsh master. Its demands are great, and its justice swift, but as some might call it, submission. But if it will spare my people the Viceroy's wrath, then I will gladly submit. This village will not become another East Pool.
Then we shall be on our way. These people live with a knife to their throats. In the mistaken belief that if they cooperate, my mother will show them mercy.
Obedience bought with fear.
Are you all right?
Sorry, It's nothing. We still don't know who the Black Shields are looking for.
Well, whoever they are, the Imperials deem them worth pursuing to the back of beyond. But other than Martha, who else in Rosari would have the courage to stand against the Empire? A new ally would certainly be welcome. Can we find them before the Perhaps the next village will yield more answers.
Perhaps.
Come on.
Faster!
This pass will take us through the mountains.
And directly into the path of whoever or whatever lurks here.
Ever since the olive tree, we've seen more and more of these toes.
What do you think is waking them? The Mother Crystal's collapse?
I have an idea. You're not going to like it.
Blood, Clive.
And still wet.
You were told to stay in your homes.
The Black Shields.
You know who we are. And still, you would bear your steel. Why then? We owe you our thanks. You have saved us the trouble of an interrogation. To dwell in darkness, that we may purge the night and welcome lasting dawn.
Say that again. I'll show you a true Rosarian. Tell me what I want and the end will be swift. Who are you looking for?
Why, you... Your friends have been found. They await you in Old Hill.
Those are Old Hill's gates.
Then we hurry. Find something, boy. Death.
Found her.
This was my mother's doing.
But why? Why would anyone...
I don't know. I never truly understood her. But this...
Oh, Clive.
I will learn what madness drives her, and I will end it. We should go.
Yes.
We can't leave them here like...
We won't. But if the Black Shields have made it this far south, they may already be in Port Isolde.
We're approaching Buick Bridge. Though I doubt the Empire would let us cross over to Rosalith.
Fly, Ambrosia.
That'll do, girl.
They tell us there's a curfew, but then refuse us passage back to our homes.
They're all Rosarian.
But this is their home.
I'm hungry.
This is no time to ride. Come on.
Yeah!
The Lazarus. What happened to this place?
My mother happened. The nobles who lived here didn't stand a chance. Let's hope my uncle fared better. That's the main gate. And it looks like we're not the only ones hoping to get in.
Let us pass! My children are starving! Have mercy! Voice-ridden dogs they are! You can't ignore us forever!
Let us in, or we'll die on your doorstep!
Better out there than in here!
No,
Fuck off! And the chinless bastards! Those crystals belong to us all! I said, where were you, filth? Back to your sties! Cut you down where you stand! Destroy it!
No chance of slipping through unnoticed. We'll need to find another way in. I thought we might be able to reason with the guards. Or at least bribe them.
I suspect everyone in that crowd thought the same. Was that the only way in?
Officially, yes. Strictly speaking, no. My uncle once told me that the nobles had tunnels built, so that they could visit town without having to walk amongst the rabble. The Lazarus. We'll find our way into the city.
If you're sure. And do you think it's safe?
As long as it is abandoned.
The good news is we haven't seen a single black shield since Old Hill.
Maybe they found who they were looking for. This is nothing like her. Remember it?
How quickly a crown can lose its luster.
Not abandoned then.
Oi! Visitors!
apologies. We'll show ourselves out. Or not.
I've only ever seen one man fight like that. And he's long dead.
Then perhaps it's time you joined him.
The blessing of the Phoenix. It can't be. I was there when you died. Huh? Forgive me, my lord. I knew not whom I addressed. You have naught to fear from us. Founder, it really is you.
It is. So wait.
We can speak inside.
And those who wouldn't bend the knee?
We left before the Empire could make examples of us, though we didn't go far. And we banded together to form the Guardians of the Flame soon after. Alas, there is only so much a handful of aging shields can do against the might of an empire. But we've seen to it that their stay has been anything but pleasant. Of late, though, we've had our hands full just trying to keep the Duchy's few remaining bearers out of the Imperial's clutches.
The Cullings. We saw what happened in Old Hill.
Aye. The foul work of the Black Shields and their mistress.
You mean my mother? But it doesn't make sense. Even knowing what I know about her. Her hatred for bearers was no secret, but she wouldn't have been ignorant of their value to the realm.
No offense, my lord, but in case you haven't noticed, the Lady Annabella couldn't care less about the realm. She barely even cares for her own home. That much has been plain since the slaughter at Eastpool. And, since granting the Holy Emperor a new heir, her obsession with bearers only seems to have grown. As to why, I don't know. Maybe she can't bear the thought of anyone having the power to challenge her beloved son.
Her son.
Sir Wade, the Black Shields have broken camp. They march in full force for Buick Bridge.
Then so do we. Make ready. This is their main host. If we remove the head, perhaps we can prevent what happened at the docks from happening somewhere else. If I do nothing, then the blood of their next victims will be on my hands.
And ours. We too have witnessed the crimes these men who dare call themselves shields have committed in my mother's name. It cannot be allowed to continue. We must put a stop to this madness.
We must. So let us go with you. For the good of Rosaria.
I was hoping you'd say that. Very well. If that is your wish, I would be honored to serve at your side.
And we at yours.
So, Wade, let us do our duty.
With pleasure, my lord.
I imagine this endeavor will require more than just our wits.
Then let's hope Sir Wade has a good quartermaster.
We'll show them the buck up.
Allow me to tend to your needs, my lord. Of course, my lord. Will that be all? As you wish, my lord. May the blessing of the crystals go with you.
Tell us then, Sir Wade.
Nothing fancy. You, Lady Jill and I make for Buett Bridge, and provoke the main host. Sensing an opportunity to end the Guardians, the Black Shields will call for reinforcements, who will be met from the rear by parties of my brothers hidden throughout the surrounding hills. This will allow us to wage battle on the bridge without fear of being overwhelmed. While the Black Shields have an advantage in numbers, you see, they prefer to fight in small units, which we can use to our advantage.
How small exactly?
Small enough, now that I have you and Lady Jill for company.
But until we arrived, that was your plan.
So wait. The bearers from Oldale have been laid.
Very good.
As you command.
Thank you, Sir Wade.
There is but one thing which will grant putting an end to the Black Shields.
And so we shall.
Blessing of the Phoenix go with you.
How long have you been pursuing the Black Shields?
Since they burned their first village. We tracked down the bastards responsible and fed their corpses to Stillwind. Suffice to say, that got their attention. It's been a game of cat and mouse ever since.
Fly, Ambrosia. Sideways. Come along now. Bastards are lucky with you.
There they are. On your command, my lord. What is it now? I told you! We bear a message for the Vicereine. From the Guardians of the Flame. Ha!
You presume to tell us that a pair of filthy vagabonds, a woman and a dog, could guard aught against the might of the Black Die along with... For Azaria!
For Azaria!
Your petty revolution ends here. On these our swords we swear.
Bloody hell! Reinforcements from the far bank!
Another wyvern to fight their battles for them. Let's try.
More dragons!
Wolves. The Imperials aren't taking any chances. But I can't say I'm flattered.
Down you go!
A noble stand, albeit a misguided one. In taking it, you have but proven our point. That this land is in dire need of cleansing.
There's no one left to keep them occupied. We need to finish this.
You mean finish him?
I don't see any more.
Nor do I.
It did. We sent every last one of the rotten bastards straight to...
Perhaps this will be enough to stop the Cullings. For the time being.
Perhaps. Though I doubt much she'll move swiftly to see her minions ranked.
And then it will all begin again. I often wonder if the nation we once knew is gone for good. Her fields rot. We battled to preserve the flame that was, but for every foe we fell, another springs up in its place. Yet be that as it may, it is still our home, and we must fight for it, as we always have, and always will. For as long as the Firebird's flame burns in our heart, and her loyal subjects may dream of a day when the Rosarian standard flies over Rosalith once more.
So Wade,
Think we should fall back to Port Isolde before the garrison sends reinforcements? A sound strategy, my lord.
And how long has my uncle been funding you and your comrades' endeavors?
Since the beginning. Lord Byron was the first person I turned to after forming the Guardians. And had I known of this tunnel back then, I wouldn't almost have been hanged by the city guard for trying to sneak over the wall.
I suppose a formal request for an audience would have appeared suspicious.
And appearances must be. Were the Vice-Regency to catch wind of Lord Byron's involvement in our movement, they'd seize his estate and send him to the... where he would be of no use to anyone. And so, though it sickens him to the soul, he plays the part of the loyal lord, knowing that it is why he remains ever vigilant. Don't be surprised if he refuses you an audience. Especially since you're famous.
Then I will have to think of a way to prove that I am neither wraith nor wrongdoer.
I might have something which could help with the... It's the mark of the Guardians. Display it, and those who love Rosaria will know where your loyalties lie.
I shall wear it with pride.
Be sure that you do. I don't want my men attacking you again. If only Sir Tyler could have been here to see you. Or the Lord Commander.
Thank you, Sir Wade. If there is ever anything...
I know.
How accommodating. Do you really think they believe we are who we say we are?
Not a chance. Right, I guess. My uncle believes we're imposters here to rob him. And means to string us up himself.
Imagine my surprise when I was told my nephew had come to visit. Clive Rosfield died long ago. And for uttering his name here, you shall pay with your tongue! You would mock me as well?
It is I, Sir Crandall of Camelot, loyal servant to her serene holiness, Saint Sybil the Unshod. Meadow, thou vile sorcerer, For thy crimes against church and crown, I shall have thy head.
Curse thee, infectious flax wench. Even in death, must thou plague me still? Very well. I shall open the gates of hell, that thou might see thy charge once more.
Bravo, Uncle. You're still the finest Maddu in the twins.
Oh, Clive, my dear boy, it's really you. You always were fond of that scene from The Saint and the Sanctuary. Never did let me play Sir Crandall.
I have a favor to ask, Uncle Byron.
Rutherford, inform the kitchens. There'll be guests. We dine immediately.
But, Uncle...
You can't very well regale me with the tale of your miraculous preservation on an empty stomach. Go on, sit. See that you use the good plates, Rutherford. So you arrived late to one of her cullings, did you? Since becoming Viceroy in Valor has been a constant thorn in Rosaria's side, but these atrocities are a new low. Something has changed. Quite what, I don't know, but the woman we knew is gone, and a monster sits in her place.
A monster?
For better or worse, I've been charged with governing this town, and thus must maintain the illusion of obedience. That's all I can do to aid Wade and his merry band of revolutionaries.
So he's told us. You have risked much for Rosaria. Our nation will be forever in your debt.
It has been 20 years, Clive. The nation your father and your forefathers fought to defend is no more. Perhaps it would be otherwise had I the courage of my brother. All right, if it's a ship you require, a ship you shall have. I've a galley in port, but recently relieved of her cargo. She can be outfitted for the voyage in a matter of weeks.
So you believe us, then? About everything?
Believe you? Ha! Only a fool would believe even half of the things you claim. But until tonight, only a fool would have believed my nephew still lived. And besides, I have it on good authority that Clive is telling the truth.
Whose authority?
Your own, of course. You've always been a terrible liar.
Is that true?
It's not untrue.
Let's say no more about it, eh? It wouldn't do to linger on my nephew's greatest failing. The one thing I cannot believe, though, is all this about you being Sid. You were always such a good boy, but now you're quite the outlaw. Which, if I'm not mistaken, would make me an outlaw's uncle. Right then, who shall we pillage first? Rutherford, fetch me my cutlass. This will be fun.
Over there. Go on.
She's a fine ship, isn't she? Once outfitted, she'll bear us across the boiling sea to Drustenus in the space of 3 days. Something on your mind?
Monsters. When I served the Iron Kingdom, I did so because I saw no other choice. Because once they learned that Lash would not move me, they turned it on those who could. And so I became their puppet. I let them pull my strings, telling myself it was not my hand that swung the sword, but another's. I removed myself from the truth so I wouldn't feel the pain it caused. And before I knew it, I no longer felt anything. Anything at all. I had become a monster.
Jill.
I don't want to be a monster. Clive, do you understand? I want to choose a different path, a better path. To live on my own terms. But before I can do that, I need to come to terms with my past.
And when you do, I'll be standing there with you, just as you stood with me.
Thank you, Clive. I must atone for my sins. Only then, when it's done, will the monster cease to be.
Just promise me that you won't die with it. Now, let's get some sleep. The journey back to Benamir is long, and there is much to tell the others. Only the Founder knows what awaits us in the Iron Kingdom. But Vivian could probably make an educated guess.
Typical noble.
How did we never hear
There are new
about these
billets being
Guardians of the
posted
Flame?
every...
Clive! Oh, my God.
Is something wrong?
It's Blackthorn. And if I'm honest, he ain't been for a while. Normally, it only takes a couple of drinks to perk him back up, but not this time. Something's getting him down. And whatever it is, he ain't telling. It's like he's lost his spark, you know? He's barely got enough fire in his belly to get... But I'm thinking he might if we both bent his ear.
Fine. But if he doesn't...
All right. Now, wait a bit.
I could have sworn we had a few. That monster's taken quite a liking to Lady Karen.
First August. What's it got to do with me?
August was worried that something had been weighing on you. I thought you might want to talk about.
Did you now? I told you not to stick your nose in my business.
Clive just wants to help, innit? Talk to him. You never know, you might feel better for getting it all out. Please, mate.
It's not the sort of thing you bother people about.
Why don't you tell us all the same?
Karen and I have an arrangement. I keep an eye on Goots, and she shows me what the competition's up to. Interesting arms and armor, things like that. Anyway, the other day, she shows me a cuirass she's come by. Masterpiece of level work. Light, supple, and tougher than it had any... Made my stuff look like every clumsy shit. I should have brought the bastard thing there and then just to study it, but I was too proud. And now every time I reach for my... There, you got what you came for.
All right. I always thought of old Blackthorn as a bit of a force of nature. Like a... Didn't think anything could rattle him.
Blackthorn's always taken pride in his craft. Something tells me this is only gonna... If he has doubts, it will affect his work, which will only add to his problem.
I couldn't agree more.
He said he should have bought that cuirass. Perhaps we should... Assuming you're happy to help, that is.
Too bloody right I am.
Glad to hear it. First things first, then. We need to speak to Karen. Karen, Blackthorn mentioned that you'd recently come by a leather cuirass. An exquisite...
And he ain't been himself since he saw it. So we thought we'd buy it.
Sorry, sold it already. Didn't think Blackthorn cared for it the way he turned his... But it was nicely put together, that's for certain. Even if the bloke who made it is a bit of an odd one. Happened to cross him on my trap. Makes all his stuff to order. But the fella who commissioned it refused to pay. He didn't like the colour of summit. So I took it off his...
You don't know where we might find him, do you?
Like I said, he's a bit of an odd one. Doesn't even have a work. He doesn't trust hunters neither, which means he spends as much time out tracking beasties as he does working.
I see.
He did tell me something. Apparently, his next commission's for a set of griffin hide...
Here! There's a griffin on the hunt board. The curse breakers were placing bets on who'd back. Now, where the bleeding hell was it sighted? Somewhere in Sambrec, maybe?
Thank you, Karen. We'd be lost without you.
At least you admit.
So, it sounds like going after that griffin might be the best chance we have.
I'll leave the hunting to you if you don't mind. While you get on with that, I'll ask around the markets.
Good idea.
Good day to you.
crystals we get from the tail are all but worthless.
It's not just the crystals. Bears are having trouble with their magics as well.
Ambrosia won't help me here. Griffins don't exactly make for easy prey. Let's hope our craftsman hasn't bitten off more than he can chew. Is something there, boy? Could that be our man? You all right, boy? Are you all right?
Dare say I'll survive. That griffin caught me before I could get an arrow off. Must have lost sight of me in the grass, though. I'll be...
More likely than not.
The name's Camille. I'm a lowly leather worker, if you couldn't tell by the smell of me.
Not so lowly from what I hear. Do you remember selling to a merchant by the name?
She's not an easy... Bought a cuirass from me after I lost my buyer. Quite taken with my work, as didn't stop her bartering me down to a... She sent you for a refund?
It's not her who sent me.
Well, consider me flattered.
You should be. He's a master of his art.
Blacksmiths are proud folk. And I don't imagine an impressive swordsman like yourself would be getting your steel from any but the... I'd dearly love to help, but actually...
What is it?
Treated leather. Same stuff I used to make that... If your man's as skilled as he sounds, he'll know what he's looking at.
You sure?
Well, and thanks to you, I'll be going home with all the griffin hide I can carry. I'd say it's the least I can do. Short of showing him how to make the thing myself, that is. But there are rules against it. Secrets of the trade.
In that case?
I'd be much obliged if... Right. I've got some greaves to make. You send your blacksmith my...
Will do. Hopefully this will sweeten Blackthorn's mood.
And with a bit of luck, Clive might even find the geezer. How'd it go, Clive? Did you find him, or does the hunk...
I found him. And he asked me to give you this.
You're joking.
He said he wouldn't teach you how to work it, but that if you were as skilled as you sounded, you'd...
So that's his secret. Good few times, too. No wonder it's... And that's no ordinary oil he's used to... Oh, this is fine work.
Yeah? I'll take your word for it. Just looks like leather to me. Here, Clive. You didn't happen to...
Camille, I believe.
I thought as much. There ain't many leather workers in the realm daft enough to do their own hunting, see? And his name kept cropping up when I was... Turns out, he's from Tabor. And again, most level. But our friend Camille guards a long-held family secret, the details of which are the subject of some debate in the...
Then we better keep this close to our chair.
Listen, sorry for putting the both of you to all that trouble. Should have kept my moaning to myself. Still, I'm glad...
That was the idea. Clive's idea, anyway.
It's good to have you back.
Just don't expect me to go to... There's a reason he does his own hunting. He knows exactly what hides to look for. And that's how he gets them to layer up. And don't get me started on how much oiling this leather... I reckon I can make something about as good. Something a curse breaker will have no trouble caring for. Anyway, enough narrowing. I've got work to be...
Looks like we won't be needing a new blacksmith.
As if there was a better one out there. Nah, it wouldn't have been the same anyway. No one spins a yarn like old Blackthorn. Right, now that's sorted. I've got... Thanks, Clive.
Back, are ya? What do you want? Anything else?
That one. She's taken quite a liking to Lady Karen.
Deadlands wouldn't be half as bad with all the bloody dust.
Typical nobles.
How did we never hear about these guardians of the...
How may I help you today, Clive? Your benefactors are a generous lot. Here you are. I gave you that one, didn't I? All done?
Back again, Lord Rosfield. I'm touched that you should find...
It is not your company.
What will it be today?
The Iron Kingdom.
You'll soon be setting sail for Drake's Breath, then, I take. The mother crystal that rises from the boiling sea. There was a time when a true-blooded Rosarian had only to brave the waves to visit it. But then the As you know, the Iron Kingdom rules over the islands to the west of Storm. Or rather, its church does. But this is not the pragmatic approach to state religion employed by the Holy Empire to manipulate the masses. No, the Iron Kingdom is the literal embodiment of the crystalline orthodoxy. And so, if one is to understand it, one must start there. As the name implies, the Orthodoxy holds the Mother Crystal sacred, and they do not take kindly to heathens plundering the objects of their worship for the means to fill washtubs and light lamps with frivolous feats of magic. Indeed, the faithful consider ether a sinful thing, a poison no less. And to them, a dominant is an instrument of evil, albeit one they have proven only too happy to turn against their enemies. Some 80 years ago, in Northern Storm, Drake's eye collapsed. Soon after, in pursuit of ether and with the blight at their backs, the Northern Territories descended upon the Grand Duchy of Rosaria. And when the Shields of the Flame marched north to meet them, the Iron Kingdom spied an opportunity. A few short days later, the Crusaders landed on the island of Mount Drastanus, home of Drake's Breath, and plucked it from the Duchy's grasp. Rosaria tried to reclaim it, of course, but to no avail. I doubt more than a handful of Duchy men have set foot on its shores in your lifetime. Nor are they like to again, under the Empire's stewardship, meaning the Iron Blood will keep their island, and with it, the foothold they need to march on mainland soil when next they spy an opportunity. The Mother Crystal is both the object of the Iron Blood's worship and their gateway to the continent, making Drastanus the holiest of holy grounds, from which the Orthodox Crusade shall one day sail forth to claim the remaining Mother Crystals, or die trying.
My father and my grandfather both traded blows with the Iron Blood for control of Drake's Breath. Had things unfolded differently at Phoenix Gate, we would have sent our entire fleet against them.
But instead, they sent their fleet against Rosaria, sacked the capital, killed the men, and captured the women, including Jill. I'd say you'd be forgiven for wanting a little...
But not much else to do here. Let's see if Jill's ready.
Typical nobles.
It will be over soon.
You ready?
I think so.
Jill. When you told me you had to come to terms with you weren't talking about destroying Drake's breath.
No. I spoke of Imran, the leader of the Crystalline Orthodox. The man who made me do all those unspeakable things. It's what I need to do to put the past behind me. And I know that I can do it. If you're there...
Always.
And I'll be beside you, too. We'll bring down the Mother Crystal together, all while Sid looks on.
We'll make him proud. Useful trick. Freezing and throwing the spray to make mist. How did you learn to use your powers like this?
The Masters made me do it. When the Crusaders took to the seas, to keep the fleet's movements from prying eyes. I'm fine.
No, you're not.
This may be the only chance I get to go back. My only chance to put things right. I have to do this. Whatever the cost.
All right.
There she is. The Iron Kingdom's Mother Crystal.
Drake's breath. Strong currents, sharp rocks, and ether floods. Let's not forget them. This island is a natural fortress.
But safety breeds complacency. Allowing a single rowing boat to slip in unseen. The sanctuary is inside the mountain. If we follow the old trail, we should be able to enter by the back gate.
All right. Let's go. I always imagined when I came here it would be to reclaim it.
It used to belong to Rosaria, didn't it?
Once, though it's been in the Ironblood's clutches for far too long.
As was I. For 13 years, this rock was my home. I know its secrets only too well. This path was abandoned after an ether flood. They don't guard it anymore.
The perfect little shortcut. They're all Akashic.
The ether flood must have spread. It was never as bad as this before. And the only way past them is through them.
Stay down!
earthquake.
They happen all the time. That wasn't even a bad one. It's nothing to worry about.
All right. This won't be easy. Too slow. Nice try. Too slow.
The old arboretum's just up here. We'll enter the caves from there. Ugh, look at this place. A mess.
Wait.
It's turned.
Nothing a shield of Rosaria can't handle. Just like old times. You sure to keep clear of his ball?
Believe me, I need to. That's foul.
Don't breathe it in. Slow.
Press on.
Yes. It's like a furnace in here.
We're inside the volcano. You get used to the heat. Though I don't remember it being quite this hot.
Was that one cause for concern?
It was. And they're getting bigger. Something's wrong.